this week's show, as I said earlier, is dedicated to the St. Patrick's Day Parade in the City of Union, in which the City of Elizabeth, our police and fire departments, as well as many people who reside here, participate both as marchers and as spectators. It's a great day. I urge you to come out next Saturday, March 10th, to come and watch the parade on Morris Avenue in Union. And I'm pleased to be joined by the General Chairman, Mr. Gene Sully. Gene, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And the former adjutant of the parade, who does jack of all trades, I'm told, right? Mr. Joe Duggan.
That's right, Mayor.
That's right. Jack of all trades. Yep. Good definition, Joe?
Very good.
Okay. Yeah. Gene, we'll start with you. You've been part of the parade for how many years since it started?
10 years.
Since the 10th?
This is my 10th year, yes.
Okay. And you've been there from the very beginning?
Yes, from the very beginning.
Now, before we begin, the parade committee had the unfortunate loss of its general chairman this year, correct?
Yes, we did.
And he was Mr. Dennis Cogan.
Yes.
And how well did you know Dennis?
I met Dennis in 2000, the year Marilyn Ryan from St. Helens Parish was elected the Grand Marshal. Dennis Cogan and Jerry Barton came in with guns blazing. What can we do? How can we help? This and that, and we, formed a very good friendship over the last few years.
And Joe, how long did you know Dennis?
Since the same time, and as Gene said, there was nothing that they didn't volunteer to do or help take over the investiture mass and anything that we needed done, they were right there for us. Wonderful people.
Well, on behalf of the citizens of Elizabeth, we'd like to extend our sympathy to Dennis's family and to the entire parade committee for someone who is very instrumental in helping this parade succeed through the years.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you, gentlemen, for carrying on his role as a general chairman, in which, Gene, that falls into you. So you're the general chairman, right? Were you like the vice president? No kidding, about the heartbeat away type of thing? And is that how you moved up, or was there another election in order for you to move up?
No, I was elected by the committee and by the organizations as the first vice chairman. Okay. At the time of Dennis's demise, I was put right in his spot to oversee everything and make sure everything was running smooth. We have a great parade this year.
Now, do you get to be general chairman again next year, so you could fill the whole unexpired term as well as a new term?
Hopefully, if I'm elected, yes. Hopefully, if I'm elected.
How are you elected by? Who are the committee members that do that?
It's the election committee. It's 4 or 5 people from different organizations within the 18 original parade committee groups. Okay. And what they do is they get 4 or 5 people together, and they put they're a nominating committee, and they run people off the floor.
Oh, so it's on a floor vote type of thing. But I guess you got to express some type of interest,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And Joe, you've been around since 2000. You're the adjutant. What does the adjutant do?
The adjutant is the person who puts the whole parade together.
So the heck with the general chairman, right? All the work. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
No,
all the work falls to the adjutant.
Not exactly, but it's the only position in the parade where the general chairman picks his adjutant, and the adjutant sends all the invitations out to every marching unit, every organization, every band, and contracts with the bands that are going to appear in the parade. And then he forms the whole parade from the first guy walking down Morris Avenue to the last, which is usually the adjutant and his staff. So the total responsibility of organizing the march is that of the adjutant.
And who is the adjutant this year? You're on the staff of the adjutant.
Right. John Peters is the adjutant this year. Again, I was 2 years ago, and that changes. No one will do that twice, I'm sure.
It's that trying of a task, eh?
It's a full year. It's a full year's job, and it's at times difficult to make everybody happy, but you try your best, and we've been very fortunate. It's a family parade, and everybody pulls together to make it work.
Gene, the general chairman's position, I just asked, is it for 1 year, or do you don't know at this stage?
Yes, it is. It's only for 1 year, yes. Okay.
And the adjutant position is for 1 year as
yes.
well, usually. Gene, have you held any other positions, Gene, within the parade committee before this one?
I was a 2004 adjutant. Joe was my assistant adjutant. Trustee, second chair, and first chair.
And now these committee meetings are they love fest? Everybody gets along at these committee meetings, or what?
Most of the time, yes, but you have, your oddity meeting where,
I used to tell a joke, Gene, that whenever I went into the Irish events, whether it be in the Elizabeth Parade, I think Joe's heard this, or the Newark Parade, I'd go stand near Jim Keefe because nobody dislikes Jim Keefe,
Yes.
so I figured it was always safe to stand next to Jim. Is that a good way to look at some of these events, and especially when you're picking the Grand Marshal?
believe it or not, our last, if I'm not 2 or 3,
They've been very smooth. Everybody,
everybody. It's. If I don't. If I
quite,
remember.
quite unusual for the Irish.
Yeah,
I-
it's been unanimous.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I think the last 3 have been unanimous. There has been no infighting or anything else like that.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's nice.
It is, yeah. What a difference. And the Grand Marshal this year, who is Bill Lavin, correct? The president of the state FMBA, and he was voted. What month was he voted in? Do you know? Was it back in November or December?
December. Yes.
So at the December meeting, tell me about that meeting. At the December meeting, people come together and put names forward.
Well, what it is, it's done at a closed meeting. It's not an open meeting. It's done at a closed meeting where one person from each organization, it's usually the delegate from each 18 organizations, go in there, and I preside over the meeting. And what they do is they put a name out there, and they read the person's bio. Everybody sits back, thinks, if is there anybody else? If there any, then you do what you usually do. Then if there's no other nomination of anybody else, we put it to a vote right there. Since it's unanimous, everybody agrees with it. Nobody has any ill feelings or stuff like that. We'll just put it to a vote right there. And then,
Now, do you guys have a vote, or because of your role in the parade, or do you have to represent an organization?
It's the general chair, first vice chair, second vice chair. I think all the elected officials, and it's one person from each organization, and the last 3 general chairmen
Have a vote.
have a vote.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty fair system.
Yeah. So there's like 25 or 26 votes total.
Joe, you were the adjutant in 2005, my notes tell me, for this parade. The duties of the adjutant you described briefly, have they changed much? Is it more cumbersome, easier that you've been through this, or what?
Well, I think it's the same. I don't think it's changed a whole lot. It's same process. As we go through year after year, there's certain little tweaking that we do and makes life a little bit easier. And you can imagine there's 80 marching units in this year's parade. There's 29 marching bands in this parade. So trying to space them out so you don't have one band stepping on the other. They call it playing. You have to put your groups spaced apart. And it, every year we learn something a little bit different, a little bit better, and everybody helps the new guy. Which is great. Friday night, there was a group of us there when he was setting his line of march. And it makes life a little bit easier when you have several sets of eyes looking over there. Sometimes it can confuse it, but for the most part, I think each year it gets a little bit better.